Hello, my friends. So I just got finished with the first class at the Premier Combat Center. I am really, I'm really tired because it was a lot of light sparring, light contact sparring, and I guess I'll just start out by saying that it was really good. I think I already learned a number of things, and I'll get into that in a moment. Um, a slight update, you can probably see that my glasses here are temporarily repaired with duct tape, and that's because I broke my glasses while weightlifting yesterday. The little piece that holds it on the bridge of the nose popped off. But I should be getting a new pair this afternoon, maybe a little later if they have to get it ready. That's not really related to the MMA stuff at all. I just thought I'd mention it. But let's get specifically down to what I believe I've learned for the very first foundations class. Um, I love Aristotle and I love taxonomies, breaking things down into all its little component pieces. So we something like that was basically the foundation for. That's not meant to be a play on words. It was the main bit of what I was supposed to be practicing during this first session, which was a distinction between technique and structure. And I've never heard things broken down in this way before. So, technique is essentially what you're throwing. It's your punches, your crosses, your jabs, your kicks, etc. And but the instructor very specifically wanted me to not be focused so much on my techniques, but more on what he described as structure, which was essentially how I was supporting and positioning the alignment of my body, how to keep the head square with the shoulders over the hips over the feet, and the correct positioning for the head when you're in a defensive stance. So, chin tucked, arms up, and keeping that defense up while you're guarding. Um, but then also, there was an introduction and practice for a single leg takedown. And it was there that I realized that my structure is pretty terrible. Like I was getting compliments on my techniques and my ability to do a little bit of successful bobbing and weaving, able to make contact and keep my shoulder up for defense when I'm throwing out techniques, but it was really the structure that was getting me, and instead of keeping things aligned, my back arched down pretty much half of the time that I went for a one leg takedown. And that was causing me to lose control of my breath, lose control of my abs, and beyond. And because I wasn't controlling my breath, I got winded almost immediately. The cardio is not there for this type of activity for me right now, which means I need to do it a lot more, and I need to focus on this structure, how I'm holding myself better, more than the techniques that I'm throwing, which is it's a very different mindset for me already, because in doing martial arts, they teach you the technique, they teach you how to hold your body for the technique, and they teach you to control the technique so you can step back, get back into a stable position that you were in before. But my experience was that they were not teaching me how to hold this structure throughout the entire technique and follow it up, and basically have the structure of the body be the core of all the movements that are happening. So that's the next challenge here. There is another class this evening. I'm going to be going back to that, even though my shoulder hurts and I'm tired and I'm worn out. But I'm going to go back tonight as well. I'm going to try to focus more on the structure than anything. And I guess beyond cardio, I also learned that I've lost a good deal of flexibility in certain directions, but I was surprised that I still had the flexibility, I guess, how do I describe it? Forward and back, but not side to side, if that makes any sense to people. When trying to bend off to the side or stepping out, I found I couldn't step the way I was trying to. But stepping in and stepping back weren't a problem. And but I guess in terms of, again, going back to that structure thing, I was really cheating in trying to get to that one leg takedown, because they were trying to teach me how to what do they call it, punch in, to really dash in to my opponent and actually grab the leg, hold the elbows tight to the body, and then twist and bow them out of the way. But what I was doing instead, because I always liked switching my stance, putting my right hand into the jabbing position, even though I'm right hand dominant. I like switching back and forth a lot, just to, and it was working decently, but I didn't really know how to follow it up, and it was obvious that people were going easy on me, which is expected because I'm a beginner, and beginners try out a lot of things that aren't super great, but I'll learn what doesn't work pretty quickly with these folks. I believe they already gave me my pops, lots of pops on the chin and the eye for not following up my guard or doing something that didn't work. And but yeah, so I was switching to having my right leg forward, my right hand in the jab position, and then just stepping in quickly with the left to get to the leg. And that worked. It worked because I was able to grab the leg and get to the takedown position. But I cheated myself from doing that because I wasn't learning how to actually do this technique that I was the technique, but the structure behind the technique, which is what's most important, actually holding my shoulders, hips, and head in the right position as I change positions, crouch down, and try to move in to get to that leg, to get my shoulder fully pressed against the opponent, a resisting opponent's body. And so that's essentially lessons for class number 1. Focus on the structure of my body's position. Exhale well, so that I can actually maintain my breath and not get winded, not let the cardio destroy me right away. And also, I guess number 3 is do the technique, don't cheat, because so far I'm only cheating myself. So we'll see how things go tonight. Yay. All right, so just got done with the second class today. Their schedule pretty much happens in 2 classes a day, so you're going to see these little journals be uploaded about 3 times a week for the duration of this month. Notes for what I did well today, and or what I did well in this second class tonight, and things that I did worse at, things that I need to improve. First is that I actually learned their name for light sparring. They call it randori. And the goal is pretty much slow movement, very making sure that you're making contact where you need to make contact. It's about figuring out your spacing, and I did a very poor job of that tonight. I was better at it this morning. The main reason being is that I got too fast. I let myself get pulled into the speed of some smaller guys who had a different base speed than me, and that was making my form suffer. It was making the thing I was trying to focus on suffer, and that's entirely on me. It's not on them. It's because I fell out of the rhythm and I didn't reset the rhythm, and I could have done that. Next, I would say something I forgot to mention for this morning, a note that I want to keep in mind, so I'm going to put it in here, is the, I guess, something that is surprising to me, though it shouldn't be surprising, is that when you're doing this light contact sparring, you're not supposed to be afraid to, take a hit. It was suggested that whenever a punch comes, I should be throwing a punch, so that, if I'm getting hit, great. If I'm not getting hit, also great. If I hit them and don't take a hit, that's the best case scenario. But it's really, it really is putting all of the offense and the defense happening at the same time, and accepting the hit when you didn't have your defense correct, because it's essentially saying that I lost, that the technique did not work, I made the mistake, I take the hit, and I guess onto the one-leg takedowns. I would say this time I did have better structure. However, even though I had a better structure and I was actually stepping in, I wasn't cheating, I was very specifically making myself not cheat with those, like, switching my stance and then just stepping in to get it sort of thing. I was changing level, crouching down, and then trying to dash forward to get that contact. But I really wasn't making it. I got it a lot more times using the traditional ordinary stance one-leg takedown tonight than I did this morning. But I could have done, like I said, with the spacing, I wasn't doing the spacing right, and especially around the end, I just wasn't getting anyone, especially people who had their low defense game correct. I think I kind of understand what they were talking about when they said to move the front leg back to, to sort of pull it back in the shadow boxing section, because this one guy at the end that I was doing randori with was, it felt like he was perfect at it. Every time I went in, every time I thought I had a chance to go in, he got that leg back and it was out. Like, I even felt myself grab onto muscle fibers in his thigh, and was like, well, if I'm grabbing the muscle, it means I have no chance of getting this hold into the position I need it to be. His leg isn't going to be attached to my chest, so I can't do the turn, I can't do the bow. So I had to give up. Had to accept I failed at the grab. But I did a lot more tonight than I thought I would. I guess another thing that I noticed is that I actually was sparring with, doing randori with some true beginners, people who were also new as of this month with me, same as me, but were also didn't have a background in boxing or martial arts or anything like that. And I noticed that for these fighters, the spacing was definitely something that I had the advantage on, and I guess I got a little overconfident with that, and I think that contributed to me forgetting the purpose of the practice and not doing it the correct way for the other people that I went in with. And there was this one guy who was, he had a really weird guard that I don't know, he knew how to use it. His hands were up and out like this in front of him, and it almost slightly reminded me of how people hold their hands when doing something like Chow Gar, which is Southern Mantis Kung Fu, which is it's not something anyone around here in Omaha teaches. I know, I researched it, and I have no idea where he picked it up or where he learned it from. So suffice to say, this guy, he was not a true beginner. He was wearing the same colors as me, indicating he was a beginner, but I think he's just new to the school because he had skill. Gotta respect that. Gotta respect skill. And let's see, what else is there? I don't know, I think I covered all of it. My dinner tonight is a gosh darn salad, because I need some leafy greens in my body. I am spent. I am done. My shoulder hurts because I worked it too hard and it was hurting this morning too, and I've just been accepting it, and I can feel like I used to think that my guard got tired holding my arms up, but that was when I was still shrugging my shoulders, and that was a different kind of tired altogether. When your arm is tired from just doing this a lot like you're supposed to, and then keeping that shoulder coming up when you throw the elbow out there, when you gotta keep the defense on your chin. Oh yeah, another note, tuck that chin. Got too many chin and nose pops today. Man, you know, when you get hit in the nose, there's always just that slight, you know, feeling of when it tingles in the sinuses, and your body just wants to get so mad. You want to get so mad. And I got that hit, and I had that inkling, that moment of, oh, okay, but bring it back, because that was on me. That's not him. He didn't do anything wrong. He hit me fair and square. I didn't have my guard. I got popped in the nose. Oh, but it makes you mad. Getting hit in the nose makes you mad. It makes you mad right away, like nowhere else. Like, I don't care who you are. Even getting hit in the crotch, that doesn't make you mad. That just makes you hurt. And it makes you go, ooh. But getting hit in the nose, you're instantly mad. You gotta calm that back down the moment it happens, because you're not going to do anyone any favors being mad. All right. Well, I guess that's it. I'm going to eat my dinner. I'm sure there's something I'm going to think that I really should have said in this one, but I think I've got all for the journal tonight, and if I forget anything, I'll just put it in the next one. Hopefully I'll remember. But yeah, thank you so much. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you're new to the channel and you have some advice or want to talk some shop on me. That'd be great. I don't know if I'm ever going to get a chance to have someone help out and record a sparring session. But if the class is not like today and is not super busy with a lot of people, I might have the chance to have someone do a light sparring session recorded for me. And that would be good for me, because then I get to look at myself, review what I'm doing, and you guys also get to see it, and that would be great. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for watching, and as always, stay true. I said that awkward. Good night.